History is not a series of dull, predictable events. It is a wild, unpredictable river, capable of changing course in a single, dramatic moment. Some events are so powerful, so shocking, they don't just happen, they rewrite the future. They change how we live, how we think, and how we see the world. Today, we're counting down the 10 moments that fundamentally shifted the global landscape. From political upheavals to technological breakthroughs, these are the events that turned the page on one era and started an entirely new chapter. Event number 10. The Challenger disaster, 1986. Kicking off our list at number 10 is the Challenger disaster. On January 28, 1986, millions watched live as the Space Shuttle Challenger launched from Cape Canaveral. Just 73 seconds into its flight, it broke apart, claiming the lives of all 7 crew members. This was not just a space failure, it was a devastating blow to a nation's pride and its faith in technological invincibility. The event was a shocking reminder of the risks of space exploration. It led to a 2.5-year suspension of the shuttle program and a complete re-evaluation of safety protocols. The Challenger disaster became a symbol of a shattered dream and a sober lesson on the cost of innovation. Event number 9. The Chernobyl nuclear disaster, 1986. Our next event, at number 9, is a catastrophe that forever changed our relationship with nuclear power, the Chernobyl disaster. On April 26, 1986, a safety test at the Chernobyl nuclear power plant in Ukraine spiraled into the worst nuclear disaster in history. A massive explosion sent a radioactive cloud across Europe, and the Soviet government's initial cover-up only made things worse. The event exposed the deep flaws of the Soviet system and its lack of transparency. It led to a massive, costly cleanup and the evacuation of entire cities, creating a permanently uninhabitable exclusion zone. Chernobyl became a cautionary tale that cast a long shadow over the entire nuclear industry and even hastened the collapse of the Soviet Union. Event number 8. The fall of the Berlin Wall, 1989. At number 8, we have a moment that symbolized the end of an era, the fall of the Berlin Wall. For decades, this concrete barrier divided families, nations, and ideologies. But on November 9, 1989, East German officials announced that citizens could cross the border freely. The news sparked a spontaneous celebration, and people from both sides of the city began to tear the wall down with hammers and chisels. The fall of the wall was not just a symbol of German reunification, it marked the beginning of the end for the Cold War and the Soviet Union itself. It was a powerful, emotional testament to the human desire for freedom. Event number 7. The September 11th attacks, 2001. Our next event is a moment that redefined global security, the September 11th attacks. On that tragic day in 2001, 19 al-Qaeda terrorists hijacked 4 commercial airliners. 2 were flown into the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center in New York, and a third into the Pentagon. The 4th plane, United Airlines Flight 93, crashed in a field in Pennsylvania after passengers fought back. The attacks resulted in nearly 3,000 deaths and prompted the United States to launch its war on terror. The event fundamentally changed air travel, intelligence gathering, and international relations, ushering in an era of heightened security and global conflict that still affects us today. Event number 6. The assassination of JFK, 1963. At number 6, we have a moment that shook an entire nation to its core, the assassination of President John F. Kennedy. On November 22, 1963, a young and charismatic president was gunned down while riding in a motorcade in Dallas, Texas. The event, captured on film, created a wave of disbelief and sorrow that rippled around the world. The assassination left a void in American politics and leadership. It also spawned countless conspiracy theories that continue to this day, leaving many to wonder if the full story has ever been told. His death became a defining moment for a generation, a loss of innocence from which the country would never fully recover. Event number 5. The invention of the Internet. Our list now turns to a technological revolution at number 5. The invention of the Internet. While not a single event, its rapid development in the late 20th century transformed society. What began as a military communication project known as ARPANET evolved into the World Wide Web, created by Tim Berners-Lee. The ability to connect computers and share information on a global scale fundamentally changed commerce, communication, and human interaction. It created new industries, new cultures, and new ways of learning. The Internet is arguably the single most impactful invention in modern history, connecting billions of people and shrinking our world in unimaginable ways. Event number 4. The end of apartheid, 1994. At number 4, we have a powerful example of peaceful change, the end of apartheid in South Africa. For over 4 decades, a system of institutionalized racial segregation and discrimination was the law of the land. But after decades of international pressure and civil resistance, the government began to dismantle the laws in the early 1990s. In 1994, the country held its first multiracial democratic elections, and Nelson Mandela, who had spent 27 years in prison, became president. The end of apartheid was a monumental victory for human rights and showed the world that profound social change could be achieved without an all-out civil war. Event number 3. The Cuban Missile Crisis, 1962. Our list brings us to a moment where the world held its breath. At number 3, the Cuban Missile Crisis. In October 1962, the world stood on the brink of nuclear war. The United States discovered that the Soviet Union was secretly placing nuclear missiles in Cuba, just 90 miles off the US coast. President John F. Kennedy imposed a naval blockade, and for 13 tense days, both superpowers were on a collision course. The world held its breath, unsure if a single misstep would lead to a global catastrophe. A peaceful resolution was found, but the crisis served as a stark reminder of the fragile nature of peace and the terrifying reality of the nuclear age. Event number 2. The invention of the atomic bomb, 1945. At number 2, we have a scientific breakthrough that irrevocably changed warfare and international politics, the invention of the atomic bomb. In 1945, the United States successfully tested a nuclear weapon for the first time. The bombs dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki brought World War II to a swift and brutal end, but they also unleashed a new era of fear and uncertainty. The invention of the bomb created a terrifying paradox. Its destructive power was so great that it became the ultimate deterrent, forcing nations to avoid direct conflict for fear of mutual annihilation. It was a technological leap with moral and political consequences we are still grappling with today. Event number 1. The Apollo 11 moon landing, 1969. Topping our list at number 1 is a moment that transcended politics and united the entire world in awe, the Apollo 11 moon landing. On July 20, 1969, Neil Armstrong took one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. This was not just a scientific achievement, it was a cultural and historical one. The moment was watched by an estimated 500 million people around the globe. It was a stunning display of human ingenuity and a powerful symbol of what we can achieve when we set our minds to a seemingly impossible goal. The moon landing was a singular moment of hope, courage, and ambition that inspired a generation and proved that humanity's reach extends far beyond our own planet. The events on our list may seem like individual moments in time, but they are all connected by one single, powerful truth. A single day, or even a single decision, can change everything. They are a testament to humanity's capacity for both monumental achievement and unimaginable disaster. Which of these moments do you think had the biggest impact? Let us know in the comments below. If you were captivated by these moments that rewrote history, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more journeys into the past.